Hello, everybody. Welcome to a WWE 2022 Money in the Bank review. I am your host, Daniel, joined by my other two hosts.
It's Berman.
And it's Chris again.
So, Money in the Bank is in the books. WWE have been on the streak ever since WrestleMania 38 of putting on decent shows. And I feel like it's not very different here. I had a fun time watching Money in the Bank. It is not a perfect show by any means, but I had fun watching it. What did you guys think?
On a one thing, and that's all.
All right, fair enough. So, let's get right into this review. To kick things off here, we had the 2022 Money in the Bank match for the women's side of things, and the participants were Becky Lynch, Asuka, Lacey Evans, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Shotzi. Now, I will say this. If we're talking like logically, this is an absolute mess. There's so many mess ups. Like, the spot where Shotzi got Alexa Bliss in like an electric chair position, and they both just fell backwards on the ladder and failed. That looked terrible. And Shotzi doing a senton and the back of her head landing on a ladder. Jesus Christ. And the fact that she was like you could see that she was like bleeding ridiculously from the back of her head throughout the match. But yeah, I mean, there were just a lot of messy spots in general, just a complete botch fest. But I will say there were also some good spots in this match as well, like the sunset flip power bomb from Liv Morgan off the ladder, and other things were pretty cool in this match as well. And the right person won. I said on the prediction video, WWE would never in a million years push Liv Morgan because I didn't trust them. And you know what? I am so fucking glad that I was wrong. Oh my God, I am so happy to be wrong for once. So, with all of this stuff being said, congratulations to Liv Morgan. I'm giving this a 5 out of 10. It would be a 4, but because WWE made the right decision, made the crowd happy, made me happy, I'm giving them the extra point, and I'm raising it to a 5.
Yeah, for me, I love that because my prediction, I picked Liv Morgan because I felt Stephanie McMahon will push her because Vincent there, she can pretty much do whatever she likes, and Liv Morgan got that. It was pretty good. There was a lot of weird things that happened that, like what Danny said about Shotzi, which was the most brutal part. Everything else was pretty good. So I'll probably do actually a 6 for me just because I'm pretty happy with Liv Morgan.
Hey, listen, this match is great and all, and I'm glad Liv Morgan won the match, but I'm not going to excuse it for that crappy ass ending of her basically just shoving Becky Lynch, barely doing anything, and just taking the Money in the Bank case. That was weak. That was
You think?
lame.
You think Liv didn't do anything?
It's not that she didn't do anything. It's like the final moments of the ladder match where Becky Lynch like literally didn't do anything, and she barely got like slapped, if you could count that, and she just
Oh
fell
yeah,
and died. I'm just like, no, weak.
Becky's involvement or Becky's lack thereof was definitely an issue for this match.
And then plus like you said before, there were so many botches in this whole thing, and I'm just like, dude, stop botching so much. This isn't Botchamania, but it'll probably be in a future clip or whatever. So for just those few things, and some of the spots were really bad, especially that swanton bomb to the neck breaker on herself. It's getting a 4,
All
below
right,
average.
you know what? That's a fair rating. I did expect the woman to have a 4, so
Oh,
I guess I got something slightly better than what I expected, so I'll take it. Um, this next match, United States Championship match, Bobby Lashley is the challenger against the champion, Austin Theory, or just Theory now these days. Um, I thought this match had a bit of a slow start, but once it picked up, it really picked up. And honestly, I would just call this a by the books good standard wrestling match. It's a good standard wrestling match. I will finally confess to one thing though. I really, really don't like the Hurt Lock. It does not logically hurt anybody at all. It is such a stupid submission move. I can't even comprehend it. But besides that, and I felt the same way about the Master Lock too. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. I personally hate that move. I always will. I think it looks stupid, and in no logical world, anybody would actually tap out in pain to it. But besides all of those points, this is a good and fun match. Bobby Lashley won. I think they're trying to elevate the prestige right now of the US and IC belts, which is why they have the belts on, athletes or bigger athletes like Gunther/Walter and Bobby Lashley. It makes sense. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to give this a 7.
This is a good match to me. I was hoping Bobby Lashley wins because and I picked Bobby Lashley for my predictions, and I'm happy. All right, he deserves that title. He's a fun and he's a great face right now. And to be defensive, that Hurt Lock I actually like. And first thing first, have you ever been in a full Nelson, Danny?
Have I ever been a full Nelson? Well,
yes.
No, because no one actually does it. It's stupid.
Well, next time I come to your house, I will do a full Nelson to you and tell you how bad it hurts. There you go.
Live
so I'm gonna give this a
bottom dollar.
7.5.
I ain't gonna tap out. I bet your bottom dollar.
You will. When I do it, I will make you tap out. So I'll give this a 7.5 for me.
Yeah, Dan, you better tap out. Little bitch. Okay. To get back to the match. It's decent. I don't like Austin Theory. I don't understand him. He's just like Sammy Guevara, but he's worse. He's just the industry plant for wrestling.
All right. We got to talk about that, actually, because there was something that went viral today. Comparing Austin Theory to Sammy Guevara.
Oh, no. But now, before we do go to the tangent, the match is decent. So it's getting a 7. And there's not much I can say. I don't like Austin Theory, though.
All right, now let's all talk this. Let's all talk about this. Is Austin Theory's WWE's Sammy Guevara? Now, I'm going to say this. I'm an AEW fan, okay? But if you think Austin Theory is as bad as Sammy Guevara, you're fucking tripping, dude. Like, you're fucking tripping. Like, Sammy Guevara literally botches every single one of his matches. There is not one match he has gone with hitting everything he does clean. Not one. And to Austin Theory's credit, despite how annoying he is, he knows how to cut a promo. And he at least looks like a legitimate athlete, unlike Sammy Guevara.
Fair, right. I don't have anything to say. I feel like even if I think he's just more. I think it's not that he's close to Sami Zayn. I think it's because they have the most annoyance. Pretty much, they can compare to how annoying they are. That's pretty much I would think why they compare those two together.
All right. You know what? I at least let you have that a little bit because the selfie gimmick itself is really dumb. I will say that. I mean, I felt like Tyler Breeze did it way better, don't you?
Yes, he did. Tyler Breeze did.
Oh man. But yeah, do you have anything to add on to that argument, Chris?
Honestly, I'm not a Sammy fanboy, but you're out of your goddamn mind if you think Austin Theory is a better wrestler than Sammy Guevara.
Dude, yes, he is.
You are out of your mind. You can't be serious. I'd rather get the fuckboy over the stupid asshole who takes selfies and everything.
That ladder match with Scorpio Sky was one of the worst matches.
That's like one.
That is not one. I could list a lot more.
That's like one.
Battle of the Belts 2. His match with Dustin.
You're just a fanboy for WWE.
No, I'm not. I literally shit on WWE all the time.
Like a real WWE fan.
Yes, exactly. The realest WWE fans shit on the product.
I don't want to talk about the shit. Let's get to the real drama of Money in the Bank. What's
We're
the real
comparing a
drama?
pedophile to
Oh
a
my
rapist.
god. God damn it.
Let's cool it off a little bit and then let's get on to
Please.
the next.
Let's fucking not get canceled on Twitter. Daniel, please.
All right, next up, Bianca Belair versus Carmella for the Raw Women's Championship. Man, this match was actually decent. I can't hate on it. You know, there wasn't really any moves that were really botched or, you know, nothing too crazy. Bianca carried. Nah, not really. Carmella did her thing too. I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10.
Me too. I'll probably give it a 6. I do love the match is pretty good. I just love the commentary with Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. It's just so funny. You can just hear them just argue, talking about like Corey Graves' wife and stuff. That's all I'm saying.
And yeah, I couldn't compare it too much. Obviously, Bianca Belair. Jesus Christ, pronunciations. I even said that wrong too, but it's fine. The match was decent. It wasn't anything too special, so it's a 7. I mean, there was some spots here and there, such as like the hair grab thing, but you know, I've kind of seen that in other matches done before. AKA Sasha Banks did it better, but you know WWE hates her. But whatever. So it's gonna get a 7 out of 10.
Oof. All right, fair enough. Now I'm gonna talk about this just very fast. It pissed off the crowd. A lot of people on Twitter. Alexa Bliss seems like she was going to have some kind of promo or call someone out. It looked like it. You know, she was talking to her doll, the usual BS. But then they whip out the Credit One like bank card or some shit that they're advertising. And as soon as the promo ends, you just hear this loud ass streak of boos right after it's over. I just thought it was so funny. I just had to discuss it real quick. Man, I just have to say it. Alexa Bliss in this past year, man, brutal. Now, let's move on to my match of the night. Undisputed Tag Team Championship match, the Usos versus the Street Profits. Man, the Usos disrespect has got to stop, man. They're literally so fucking good. Like they've had constant pay-per-view bangers, whether it was from Backlash or this pay-per-view or day one. They had the best match on that show too. Basically, stop sleeping on them. Everybody listening, stop sleeping on them. Stop comparing them to other teams. They're great. They might not be the greatest, but they're great. Who fucking cares? The Usos are great. And so are the Street Profits, man. I really got to give the Street Profits some credit too, because even though I kind of give them shit sometimes, I kind of can get sick of them sometimes. I can't deny them a banger when they have one. And let's be real, it looks like they're getting ready to split these two up sooner rather than later. But not yet. Not quite yet, obviously, due to the ending. That ending clearly had Montez Ford after he was hit with the 1D. His shoulder was still up, but let's be real, he would have probably been down for the 3 anyways, but one of the Usos fucked up and didn't have both shoulders pinned on the mat. So they probably have a clause to a rematch at SummerSlam. But if you ask me, I thought this match was incredible. And I don't think the SummerSlam match should be a normal 2-on-2. I think they should switch it up. Give it 2 out of 3 falls. Give it a ladder match. Something, you know. I think these two teams killed it, and they're going to kill it again at SummerSlam. So, the Usos retained, not mad at it. If they lose at SummerSlam to the Street Profits, cool by me. They had a great run. But if they continue on keeping this going forward for longer than SummerSlam, that's cool too. Either way, we're kicking it right now with those tag titles. I got to admit it. So, I'm going to give this match a 9 out of 10. Definitely a top 10, maybe even a top 5 tag team match of the year.
Yeah, this match was great. When I was watching it, it was just way too good to be experienced. It did suck at the end where the Usos did mess up with the cover, and now definitely it's going to be a new type of match. I'm hoping 2 or 3 falls. That could definitely work. They could do a tornado tag. That could be interesting to see a tornado tag match. Um, But I definitely this is probably one of the best matches of the night. So definitely I'll give it a 9 for me too.
And honestly, as much as I hate the Usos, this was probably one of the best matches in the Money in the Bank 2022. However, and Daniel and Berman can agree with me, they didn't win that match because the Street Profit dude had his shoulders up, and even he was like, "What the fuck was that?" They didn't
So,
win.
if you watched our WrestleMania 38 review, you know I'm a diehard defender of the bloodline. Where do I begin?
But they
Okay,
spam super kicks.
let's be real, Chris, okay? If the Usos, if it wasn't for one of them accidentally leaving that shoulder up, the 3 would have happened. Did you really think Montez would have kicked out of the 1D?
Yes, because it's a weak ass move.
How come no one has kicked out of the 1D yet?
Because Vince doesn't let them. That's why. But he's gone now.
Then it could have been kicked out of tonight. Am I right? If he's gone now.
He didn't need a kick out because the shoulder was up and it didn't count. And even he was like, "What is happening?"
Yes, the shoulder was up. You are correct about that. But as you see, he was passed the fuck out. He was dead. He was not going to kick out of the 1D.
Yeah, but his shoulder was still up. So don't
That
count.
again. And hey, if they want to come back for another ass whooping, by all means, they know what's coming.
No. No.
And then Montez is going to go on a singles run because that's what it looks like is about to happen.
Understandable. Have a nice day. But other than that, that's the only complaint I have with the match. And plus, was it Montez that did that sick jump over the top ropes? It's like
yes.
Dude, that
Montez,
was awesome.
that's basically the guy everyone's hyped about out of the 2 is Montez. Not that Angelo isn't bad. Angelo's really good too. It's just obviously Montez is on another level compared to Angelo.
True.
And what
Good
think
word.
about it, like even Berman, even you can probably agree on this. In the promos and stuff, the guy who does most of the talking is usually Montez.
That is pretty fair. Yeah, he has better words, and like Angelo Dawkins has. It's just a weird word. Dawkins does this thing. Don't get me wrong, he's a good wrestler, but Montez
Exactly.
Ford has a complete package.
Exactly. Me and you see the vision, and so do a lot of fans. And it looks like WWE is starting to see that vision too. So I would love to see, honestly, Montez is a guy you could throw at Roman on a main event pay-per-view. I believe that. I genuinely believe that. I think Montez is really good. So, Chris, what would you rate this match?
It's gonna get a 9 because I really, no, actually no, an 8. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was good.
All right. Now, next up, we got this massive, massive teaser video, but there were a lot of little hints. If you saw, there was a gold medal, there were some glasses, there were some armbands, and obviously those all refer to Kurt Angle, the Dudley Boys, Hardys. There were even more references than just that. But obviously, Edge is returning. And what is this being set up for? Well, the Judgment Day, it seems like they're chilling right now, right? I wouldn't necessarily say so. Right now, Finn and Damian, at least as of this recording, they have a Monday Night Raw match scheduled tomorrow night against the Mysterios. And the past week or so, they've been feuding with Rey and Dominic. So it looks like, considering Edge's connection to that family, he is a longtime great friend of Rey Mysterio and obviously kind of like an uncle figure to Dominic. So if there's anybody to return and save, it's them. So I think we're setting up Edge versus Finn Balor for SummerSlam. Yay or nay? I say yay.
I say yay too. It's going to be one of the best matches probably on SummerSlam, depending on what happens with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns.
And you, Chris? What do you think about Edge and Balor going at it at SummerSlam?
Well, I don't know if we discussed this in the podcast or not, but didn't you say like after this, there's like nothing else for Finn Balor?
Yeah, so this is what I was going to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's going to hate what I'm about to say. After SummerSlam, I think WWE should release Finn Balor. And I know what everybody's thinking. What the fuck are you talking about? Just hear me out on this. WWE don't care about Finn Balor. They don't. Triple H does, but not all of WWE does. And just look at how Judgment Day looks now in comparison to when Edge was leading it. They don't feel or look nearly as important. And it's just, Edge is going to beat Finn, right? They're going to have a great match. But after that, what the hell else can you do for Finn Balor? I would love to see WWE just finally admit they're not going to use him as a top guy, get rid of him so he can go on to wrestle in other places that I actually want to see Finn in, like AEW or Japan. I want that again. I'm done with this.
I love him as Prince Devitt, and I think he really needs to go lose this match, have a great match, lose it as a kind of farewell match, then go to AEW or New Japan so he can become the Prince.
Yeah, exactly. Just have him lose to Edge, then get released. Damian and Rhea will be fine. But yeah, I mean, I knew as soon as Edge got betrayed, Judgment Day was done for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, same.
So, yeah, with all that shit being said, I think this will be a great match, one of the best at SummerSlam. As for Finn Balor, I am incredibly worried about what happens with him after this. Very worried. But, yeah. Next up, we get to Ronda Rousey versus Natalya. Now, it was average, if we're being quite honest here. There wasn't anything massively offensive throughout the match. My favorite part of the entire match was when Ronda decided to do the sharpshooter and do the Shawn Michaels pose with the sharpshooter locked in. And the reason why I love that so much is because, of course, of the family rivalry. Well, not family rivalry, but the old rivalry between HBK and Bret Hart. So seeing that kind of reference was just fantastic. And yeah, I think Ronda retaining was fine here. You know, she was able to look strong against Natalya. And again, this match was not offensive. You know, it was fine for what it was. I can't call it a bad match, really. So I'm going to give this a 5.5. We'll talk about what happens after, but I want to hear these two guys say about this match first.
Yeah, this match was, and I'm gonna count what happened at the end of the match, something to my rating. But I did. This is a pretty good match. I love the references that they popped up. So I'm gonna give this a 6 for me.
All right. And what do you think, Chris?
Uh, it wasn't like a bad match, but what really sold it is we'll get to it. But this match by itself, besides that little moment of what's her face, what's her called, the opponent for Ronda Rousey,
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan,
Natalia.
Natalia. Yeah, there we go. Just her just slapping the shit out of Ronda. He's like, "No, you bitch! This is my match." That was pretty funny. So for just that reason alone, that's a 5 out of 10.
And then afterwards, Liv Morgan cashed in on Ronda Rousey. And, sorry, y'all. 1 sec. Woo! I just have to say this. Liv Morgan had me stressed out during her cash-in. Because I thought for a second there, she was actually going to lose her cash-in when Ronda applied that ankle lock. And I was like, ain't no way that they just did this. But thankfully, and I mean thankfully, that wasn't the case. And Liv was able to fight out of that ankle lock, win the title. It was fantastic. And she has gone through literally all this kind of crazy shit in these past few years. You know, the majority of her friends got released. She lost multiple opportunities, and she basically looked like an ultimate loser. And, you know, ultimate idiot, basically getting betrayed by everybody, too. She just basically booking kind of fucked her over throughout the years. But she put up with all the bullshit, and she improved over time to become a better in-ring competitor, better on the microphone. And she earned this moment tonight. That, without a doubt, is inspirational. And honestly, it's great. It's very great. I got to praise the fuck out of Liv Morgan for that. That is fantastic shit right there. So, Yeah, I'm very happy for her. I'm proud of her. Very happy for her. So, yeah, the plan right now, though, is that I basically put out the thought that, oh, okay, so Charlotte's going to return and take that belt from her at SummerSlam. That's instantly what I thought. But reports came out, and I don't know how true these reports are. It looks like they're not going to have Charlotte or Bayley return just yet. They're actually going to have Ronda Rousey turn heel and be the opponent for Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. What do you guys think about that?
That'd be interesting to see. We've seen Shayna Baszler as a heel, and she is a total witch, doing like she can do mean things. And if you give Ronda Rousey the chance to be a heel, she'll probably be one of the best heel wrestlers than Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, and then what do you think, Chris?
I mean, I could probably see it working, but her heel thing, if it does happen, she needs to work on the mic skills, man. She
Well,
really
that's
needs
the
to
thing,
work
though.
on it.
That's the thing, though. I think actually her being a heel means she can be on the mic even less than as a face, if you think about it. Because when you're a face, you got to kind of, do your best to put yourself over, make yourself rootable for the crowd. All you got to do as a heel is some of the actions. Even if MJF didn't speak, all the actions he's done are despicable, and that's what makes him a great heel. You don't got to really speak on the mic to be an ultimate heel. Hell, Bobby Lashley 2016 TNA, I'm going to use as an example, right? He didn't really speak on the mic all that much. He just kicked a lot of ass, and people just wanted to see him get beat because he was just that damn dominant, right? That's what I'm thinking for Ronda Rousey, personally. She could definitely be that kind of heel. I don't think she needs to speak a lot. All she has to do is whip ass and piss people off while doing it. Seems simple enough to me.
Yeah.
It's fair. I can't wait to see it.
So with that being said, I'm going to move on to the main event. But I'm actually going to let these two speak first because I guarantee you they're going to have a lot to say about this. I got a Buffalo Ranch chicken sandwich from Popeyes. I'm going to enjoy it. You two just go off here because I know you guys are not happy with the result about this match. So yeah, just say what you got to say.
Yeah, I go first. So this match was so far good. I liked that. So they didn't have Kevin Owens that we predicted before. They had Madcap Moss, which I was actually perfectly fine. I actually liked that. It started okay. It's kind of beating people, but technically got kind of team over. It was pretty good. Like every kind of spots they put in there, all the RKOs from Matt Riddle. It was pretty good. I liked it. The thing that spoiled the whole entire thing for me and made me pissed off the whole time for being WWE being so idiots is making Theory the eighth person in the Money in Bank ladder match, which usually it's only a 7-man. Now it's 8, and letting Theory win that effing freaking case, and that pissed me off because that's no one should have him be that, and no one would expect him to ever defeat Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar. If he's going to cash in that championship, he's going to lose in 10 seconds. I bet you that. And I hated that. And I'm really going to give this match, this whole thing, it was so good until Theory freaking won this title. So I'm going to give this a 6.5.
Honestly, I can say the same because I don't understand this push with Austin Theory. I'm not a big watcher of WWE. Obviously, we only really talk about AEW around here, but just the fact that this guy just gets to cash in after ruining Riddle's biggest moment of doing the super RKO off the ladder, just for Austin Theory to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna steal this. I'm gonna steal this. It's gonna be funny." And I'm like, "No, what are you gonna do?" And if anything, Berman, I bet you he's just gonna use it to cash in on the Bobby Ashley for the United States Championship belt, which is stupid because he knows he's
He
not gonna
can't do that.
fucking win. He can't even do that.
Yeah, but he can't. But he can't do that even if he can only do it against the a title match. So a WWE title. That's the only way you can do it. You can't do it on regular United States. It never happened.
Yeah, you can only do it on the world titles.
Oh
So
my
yeah, Theory would have to
god!
cash in on either Roman Reigns or Brock
Why
Lesnar
would
if he
he?
wanted to cash in at
Why would
SummerSlam.
he even win? What's the point of winning?
Only if McMahon does something stupid and says, "Hey, I'm the States title with the Intercontinental title. He could do that. That's McMahon. He's an asshole and makes Theory the golden child. So
Now, here's the thing, right? I would say that Theory would lose to Roman or Brock if he tried to cash in. But what I'm about to say is really about to make you guys mad. This is a fun fact. Theory is 24 years old right now. He's 24, right? Very pretty young. So this is the truth right now. If Theory won the world title by September, he would be the youngest world champion in history, basically dethroning Randy Orton of that current record. I think they're going to do it.
Why?
And
Why? Why?
I had to put it out there. I'm sorry.
it's just stupid. Even if Randy Orton should just stay as that youngest, and Theory should just lose by a spear or an F5. Whoever wins that, he doesn't deserve that stuff. He's getting gifted this whole thing. That's pretty much the storyline. And even if with any other person on that Money in Bank except Omos would have been a better chance for Roman. I would completely say that. I would have loved Seth Rollins or Matt Riddle to win that title, so Seth Rollins can do his special SummerSlam thing that he did at WrestleMania 31. That was the best thing that could have ever happened. But
Right.
everyone pretty much probably now hates that from WWE. And same with Riddle. Riddle could have just done some payback for Randy Orton. Reigns. Say, hey, no, you messed up my friend. I'm gonna mess you up by taking that title away from you. It could be fun enough. They give Theory pretty much a jack off this case. It makes no sense, and that's why I say they're complete idiots for doing this.
Honestly, this is what I'm going to have to say. If I was booking this personally, I think Riddle or Sami Zayn would have been the two that could have benefited from this the most. If we're being quite honest here. Sami Zayn being a member of the Bloodline, the entertaining TV he has with Brock, even if he failed his cash-in, I think it would have just made for some great TV. You get me? And
yeah.
And then as for Riddle, yeah, like you said, you mentioned it, Berman. There's definitely a history right there, with Riddle. And yeah, but I will say this though, I don't hate Theory. A lot of people do, and from what I see, is it really because he's just annoying with the selfie gimmick?
That, and because I just feel like he's just really annoying, and just I don't feel like he's a good wrestler. Really.
All right, it's fair. I will say this though.
You're crazy.
No. Let me speak, bro. Let me speak. I personally don't hate Austin Theory, and the reason why, right, is personally, I find his matches enjoyable. I found his work on NXT with Johnny Gargano to be fun, and
I doubt you know that. Sorry for that. I like him on NXT. I actually loved him on NXT. I was never hated him so much. And same with when he was on Evolve, the very old, very thing. But I hate him in the main roster. That's the only thing.
I think that just might be due to booking then, if anything.
Well, it's their fault, is it?
And you know who else had a similar problem for years? Roman Reigns. And I know you're like, how dare you compare those two? No, but think about it. Fans hated Roman for half a decade straight for no other reason than just him being on top and basically slandering him, saying like he only has 2 moves and all this other crazy shit.
He does.
Hey, but that was never Roman's fault.
You're trying to say that this is Roman.
It was WWE's fault. It was WWE's fault for booking Roman the way they did. And hell, even today, they're not booking Roman right. Even today, they're not booking him right. So, all of that being said, I don't think Theory should beat Randy Orton's record. I think that is ridiculous. I don't think he's ready for this yet. And I think that's why so many people are not, feeling right about this. They see Theory and they believe he's not ready. And to a degree, it's true. I feel like he still has not found his character yet. The thing about Randy Orton, right, was that Randy Orton was such a legend and such a, elite in the game that he found his character instantaneously. Barely anyone has that kind of talent, So when Randy Orton got the world title at 24, it felt very deserving. And, Randy Orton had the classic with Mick Foley before he ever won a world title. It's insanity. So with that being said, no, he should not beat the Randy Orton record. He should not at all. But I'm going to say this. They plan on having him fighting John Cena at SummerSlam. He'll probably beat John Cena at SummerSlam. And then they're probably going to build him up longer. And I don't think he's cashing in at SummerSlam. I think they're going to hold him off. And I think he's going to be one of those long-term Money in the Bank briefcase holders. I think that he's probably going to cash in after WrestleMania. That's where I see all this going. I don't think he's cashing Roman or Brock. I don't think WWE will allow him to beat Roman or Brock. I do think they'll allow him to beat Cody, though. So, yeah. All I have to say is I think if Theory was added in the match weeks or before beforehand and wasn't just thrown in out of nowhere, and on top of that, literally didn't do anything in this match. Like, Chris, you complain a lot about Big E's win last year, right? You felt like he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I remember the big ending to Seth Rollins off the ladder being literally one of the best, if not the best spot in that entire match. Big E at least had some moments to warrant that win. Austin Theory did absolutely nothing in this match. Can you agree with that at least?
I can. I mean, hell, even almost saved the match because that was hilarious of him getting stalked by like 12 ladders.
This was almost his best performances so far. I usually hate his matches. This was the first time I watched a match with him and was thoroughly entertained. But I think the MVP of this match was Riddle. He had the most spots. The crowd loved him. He was mad over in Las Vegas. No shock right there. And yeah, I think Sami Zayn hiding behind the ring post from Omos was hilarious. Again, Sami Zayn is just a great comedic heel. So yeah, there's a lot of great fun things from this match. I think if they build it up right, I can be happy with Theory becoming champion because I personally enjoy his wrestling matches. I think he needs to change the gimmick. I think they need to stop having him be the boss's pets or corporate favorite to an entirety because we're in 2022. The authority corporate storylines, it's no more. We get these stories at this point. It's redundant. We don't need them anymore. So, yeah. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10, yo. What would you guys rate it? Oh, yeah. You said 6.5.
Yeah, and I only have two things to mention with Theory. One thing, I'm hoping that if they try to do something about Theory, I kind of wish he will lose the Money in Bank briefcase and give it to someone else, like in a different match. I kind of like to see that
lose it
maybe.
to Seth Rollins or something like that.
Yeah, like what Otis had a long time ago
when he lost to Miz.
Yeah, they maybe do that for him at least. And another thing I don't like about Theory is his finisher. That's another big thing for me. I just hate his finisher. It's just the most impactful finisher. I look at him.
I agree with that.
Yeah, his finisher, his name, not that bad. But he could have had the Ataxia finisher or the freaking TKO. Those two are perfectly. But that freaking finisher, I hate it. That's another thing I don't like about Theory. And that's the only thing I'm going to say. Chris, take it over. Did you say anything else?
Oh, you're good. Like I said, the match was decent with the exception of Austin Theory winning because it really took away from Riddle's victory. Because if anyone's going to get it, he should have gone it fully. Because like I said before, that RKO was cinematically perfect way to end the match, and him just getting up and Austin Theory being a fucking rat and climbing up the ladder. Because initially I thought the Money in the Bank thing could be used for other belts. I'm like, oh, he's probably just gonna cash in on Bobby Ashley, which leads to the match between him and John Cena for the title in SummerSlam. But
Nah,
apparently that's not happening.
That would have been trash, son.
So either Austin's gonna cash it in and it's gonna get ruined, or he doesn't do anything with it for like a year, which is stupid.
Yeah, I think he's going to be someone who builds himself up with the briefcase for 6 to 9 months. But I'm going to tell you the truth, right? I'm going to tell you the truth. When was the last time we had someone hold the briefcase for a good amount of time?
And only Seth Rollins did the longest.
Wait, what?
Seth Rollins was the only one I think who had it for a pretty good decent amount of time.
Oh, okay. I just looked it up. The last person to hold the briefcase for a long time was Carmella, and that was almost 5 years ago. So I'm gonna be honest. I kind of hope Theory holds this briefcase for at least the entirety of 2022. At least.
And if that's the case, I would like him to do. If he is going to hold this for the whole entire time, I would like to see him
Defend it.
the champion. No, yeah, defend it. That'd be cool. But tease the champion who's champion at that moment, saying, "Oh, maybe at the next pay-per-view, I will cash in," and keep on saying that, keep on saying that, keep on saying that. So
yeah, that's
it
what
makes
I want,
it more
because
fair.
that's what I want. Yeah, because I remember. Oh wait, what?
And then I said again that cash in. So maybe he will defend the Money in Bank briefcase in matches.
Yeah. So another final question I'm gonna have. How are you guys feeling about SummerSlam after this show?
Good for me. Without Theory's win, everything else looks really good. There should be a lot of great matches, and with Pat McAfee and Happy Corbin going through Edge and Finn, with all the other matches kind of getting set up, it looks great so far until I watch it. But I think so far I'll be happy to see it, and it should be a very enjoyable show.
For sure. And how are you feeling about it, Chris?
There's no Cody Rhodes, so I don't care.
Oof.
I'm just kidding. It's gonna be a great match. That John Cena versus Austin Theory match is gonna be fun. If they do that last man standing between Roman and Brock, right? That's happening for SummerSlam.
Yeah, that is.
It should be fun at least, and I think it'll be decent, like Money in the Bank 2022. But honestly, I don't really expect it any more than a 7. So
All right.
I'm not too excited for it, but we'll watch it, and you can watch it free
For
on
sure.
Peacock.
Yeah. So overall, from start to finish, I think it was a good wrestling show. I'm gonna rate it a 7 out of 10. What are you gonna give it, Berman?
Now, let's see. I like it. It was not that bad. I still hated Theory stuff, so I'm gonna give it probably 6.5.
Then I'm just gonna give it a 6.
All right. So that was our Money in the Bank 2022 review. We'll be back later this week on the Pile Driver podcast and for other content as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Daniel.
I've been Berman.
Chris.
And we'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.